Have you ever seriously thought about what it takes to build the future? Not just improve on what we have, but create something totally new? Today, we're jumping into Peter Thiel's incredible book, 0 to 1. And really, it's not a step-by-step guide. It's more of a radical shift in thinking. Thiel's whole point is that the future isn't just something that happens to us. It's something we have to imagine and then build, one breakthrough at a time.
So, where does this journey begin? Well, for Thiel, it starts with one single, deceptively simple question. This is the question he asks every single person he considers hiring. It's designed to cut right through all the noise and find the people who truly see the world in a different light.
Just take a second and really think about that. It sounds straightforward, doesn't it? But finding a truth that is both, one, important, and two, that almost nobody agrees with you on, that's incredibly difficult. This is not about being different just to be different. It's about seeing something essential about the world that is hiding in plain sight.
So what's a bad answer? Well, something like, our education system is broken. Why is that bad? Because honestly, a ton of people already agree with that. A good answer completely flips a common belief on its head. It takes the form of, most people believe X is true, but the real truth is the exact opposite of X. It challenges something we take for granted and, in doing so, opens up a new path forward.
And this quote gets right to the heart of why that question is so hard. It's not just a test of your intelligence. It's a test of your courage. It's one thing to have a brilliant, unpopular idea in your own head. It's another thing entirely to stand up and say it out loud. Genius can spot the hidden truth, but it takes real courage to share it with the world.
Okay, so that question sets the stage. Now let's get into the core framework of the book. And this idea, it completely reframes how we should think about progress itself. Thiel says it really only comes in two flavors. And this is such a crucial point. If you want to be the next Bill Gates, the last thing you should do is build another operating system. True, game-changing innovation is never about imitation. It's about creation. You learn from the titans of industry, not by copying what they did, but by embracing their mindset of building something the world has never seen before.
So here's how he breaks it down. First, there's one-to-end progress. You can think of this as horizontal progress. It's taking something that works and just making more of it. You have one typewriter, you figure out how to build 100 more. But then there's 0 to 1. This is vertical progress. This is the magic. It's creating something brand new. Going from a typewriter to the very first word processor. That is a singular leap into the future.
And this visualizes it perfectly. That horizontal progress is all about extending what we already have. It's extensive, and it's important, for sure. But the vertical progress, the intensive kind, that's where true innovation lives. That's what actually propels humanity forward.
So, what do these two types of progress look like on a global scale? Thiel gives each of them a simple, powerful name that you've definitely heard before.
He labels one-to-end progress, or that horizontal spread, with a single word, globalization. It's taking things that work in one place and making them work everywhere. And 0 to 1, that vertical leap, that's technology. And by technology, he doesn't just mean computers and software. He means any new and better way of doing things. It's the engine of creation.
For the past few decades, we've basically been told that globalization is the answer to everything. But Thiel gives us a pretty stark warning. A future built only on copying what already exists is frankly unsustainable. Just imagine for a second if everyone on Earth consumed resources at the rate of developed nations, but using only today's technology. It would be an absolute disaster.
And there you have it. That's Thiel's own answer to his contrarian question. This is the core thesis of the entire book. While the world is laser-focused on the horizontal path of globalization, the real necessary driver of a better future has to be the vertical leap of brand new technology.
So you have to ask, why did we become so obsessed with globalization over technology? Well, to understand that, we need to take a look back. There was a moment in history that really scarred our collective psyche and shaped our thinking for decades, the dot-com bubble.
This quote from Nietzsche just nails the whole idea of a bubble, right? The madness of crowds. When everyone gets caught up in the same big idea, it's so easy to lose touch with reality. That's exactly what happened in the late 90s. But here's the kicker. The lessons that Silicon Valley learned from that crash have guided it for 20 years. But what if they were the wrong lessons?
I mean, the late 90s were a completely wild time. This idea of a new economy took hold, and it basically said that old rules, like profits, didn't matter anymore. All that mattered was getting eyeballs on your website. You had companies with zero revenue, no real business plan, suddenly worth billions of dollars. It felt like a gold rush, and everyone was sure they were just one website away from getting rich.
But here's what's so fascinating. This timeline shows that the dot-com mania didn't just pop up out of nowhere. The old economy was genuinely struggling. There were global financial crises, recessions, a general feeling that the old ways just weren't working. So when the internet exploded onto the scene, it didn't just feel like a new trend. For a lot of people, it felt like the only hope.
So if the lessons from history can be misleading and big, established institutions are just too slow to adapt, what is the best way to actually build the future? For Peter Thiel, the answer is crystal clear.
That 0 to 1 leap, that burst of new technology, it almost always comes from a new venture, a startup. And why is that? Well, big organizations are practically designed to resist risk and change. They have layers of bureaucracy, people protecting their own turf, and often it's a better career move to just look busy than to actually take a risk on something new. Startups are the opposite. They're small enough to actually think, and they are built from the ground up around a mission to create something new.
I absolutely love this definition. It cuts through all the noise about ping-pong tables and free snacks. At its core, a startup is a group of people bound together by a shared belief that they can and will build a different, better future. Their greatest strength isn't just that they're small, it's that they have the space and the mission to question everything and rethink business from scratch. And this really brings it all together. The whole point is that going from 0 to 1 isn't something you can learn from a textbook. There's no formula to follow. If there were, it would just become another one-to-end process that everyone could copy. Real, true innovation comes from thinking from first principles and from finding incredible value in places nobody else has even bothered to look.
And so this is where the book leaves us, with this incredibly powerful challenge. So often we act as if progress is just automatic, right? That the future will just naturally be better than the present. But Thiel's final point is that it won't. Progress is not inevitable. The kind of future we get is entirely dependent on the new things we decide to build right now. So the question isn't just for entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, it's for all of us. What important new thing will you build?